Alright, YouTube, how's it going? This is the Stone Geek again, back finally with another video. I know it's been a really long time, and honestly, I was never planning on making another video. But today I came across something that was very interesting to me when I was trying to search for Wrestle Talk, which is the YouTube channel I go to for my wrestling news. And as I was scrolling down on the search options, I saw this video from Crossman Wrestling with the title Wrestle Talk Messed Up. And that kind of, stuff like this always kind of piques my interest because it's always interesting to me when a small, no-name YouTuber, much like myself, decides to punch up while also trying to punch down at the same time. I find it really fascinating because there's usually two reasons why someone does it. It's usually they're like Map, who was the first video I posted. They were the first subject I posted about, where it's clearly for clout. It's it's someone jumping on the hate train in order to get views. When a more popular YouTuber is starting to either wane a little bit, or in the case of that video is, because of the change of channel controversy with Nostalgia Critic and all that. Or it's where this guy comes into, and it's more of not clout chasing, but more or less about, as we'll see in this video, more about their political views and how they disagree with some stray comment a YouTuber made, and they feel like they have to show them what's up. And in this case, what happened, as we'll see through this video, a few weeks ago, Wrestle Talk did one of their videos, and in it they explained how there was a trans wrestler who had a transphobic encounter with an older wrestler named Rick Steiner. And in the video, the host said, hey, go show some support for and as we'll see, Crossman here takes great exception to being a generally good human being and decides to be the typical POS that people like him are. So we're going to jump into the video, and it's actually going to be a 2-for-1 because he had decided to make a part 2 to his initial video. So we'll also be reviewing that one as well. And so we're going to jump into this reaction, and I'm going to pause throughout the video to explain some things that so let's just jump right into it.
Wrestle Talk. They fucked up. Why? Well, if you would have seen my CM Punk controversy video, then you will know my views on certain subjects.
So the video that he's referring to here, the controversy, I should say rather, is that after a show, CM Punk held up a sign that said "Trans Lives Matter," and of course, with conservatives, that's a big no-no. You're not allowed to show support for the trans community. But that's what he's referring to here. He'll go a little bit more in depth, and I am putting that in quotation marks. But yeah, let's keep playing.
And when a channel that I've watched for 7 years tells me that I must tell a trans person how great they are for literally no reason, then that annoys me a bit. As I've stated already, I try and keep my politics away from this channel, and people are just making it hard.
Categorically untrue. Just a straight up lie.
For me to do that. I say this for every company, every YouTube channel: keep your political messaging to yourself. Unless you're a channel that's about politics, don't talk about politics.
So he's a small wrestling reviewer, YouTuber, who's saying to keep their politics out of it, while of course also introducing his politics into it. Typical conservative hypocrisy at work. It's nothing new. We see it all day, every day. It's really exhausting.
But again, they do it, and I shall show you exactly what Luke Owen from Wrestle Talk has said.
There was an incident a few months ago where Rick Steiner, father of NXT Braun Breaker, made transphobic comments towards Impact star Giselle Shaw. Shaw's story was backed up by several other wrestlers at the convention, and Breaker himself has addressed his father's comments do not reflect on him in an interview he did with USA Today. The Fightful Select have reported that while the incident will mean Rick Steiner isn't brought back to WWE for quite some time, there is no heat on Breaker himself. So why don't you use the free time you've got on this toilet break from work to leave a comment down below to tell Giselle Shaw how awesome she is.
Now, as you can see, he is clearly taking the side of Giselle Shaw. Well, I say him, his script from his teleprompter is taking the side of Giselle Shaw, when there was no actual footage or audio of anything of Rick Steiner being a transphobe or transphobic, and the words he...
No, but his son felt the need to make a comment saying that his father's views don't reflect him, and that his comments didn't reflect him. So the fact that he's trying to claim that because there's no audio or video evidence of it happening proves that it didn't happen is not how that works. Like, people were there. Other people were there at that convention. His own son is admitting that the comments were made. So you don't really have a leg to stand on, Crossman. You really don't.
He apparently said weren't transphobic at all. He basically just said that she's trash. And that's allegedly. Again, apparently it was backed up by multiple people. But if there's no evidence, the man's innocent. Whether he did it or not, I don't care. Because...
And there's it. And there it is. I mean, even if he said the transphobic comments, Crossman doesn't care because he himself is a transphobic bigot. And that's, you know, he just gave it away right there without even realizing that he did. He's not smart enough to see, you know, that he just messed up. That he's the one that just messed up.
Either way, what he said, there was nothing transphobic to be said. All he said is, you're trash. I don't like you. Okay? That could be for a number of reasons. He might not like her personality. He might not like her as a person at all. But no, it has to jump to the trans thing immediately. Transphobic.
And he is completely taking the comments out of context here. He's going to, in his follow-up video, put them in the correct context. But in this video, as you can see, he's trying to come off like he's unbiased and that he's just defending someone who has no physical evidence against them that they said something. But as you know, I mean, he said right there, even if the comments were made, he doesn't care. He doesn't view them as being transphobic. Even though he's completely ignoring the context of the comments in this video.
And Wrestle Talk, they just like to pump it in, and they say, oh, you must support this trans person.
No, they didn't. Like, we all saw the clip that you played. Luke Owens did not say that. They just said, hey, you know, go show some support. That's not telling you to. It's not like a decree, a command to go do this. Like, no. Just no.
And I'm done with it. Now, as expected, from the last video I made calling out another YouTuber, I'm going to get a bunch of hate in the comments, but I don't care.
And he definitely has. If you actually go to his comment section, it's pretty much nothing but people shitting on him for his obviously bigoted views.
Please throw your hate at me, call me a transphobe, a bigot, without even watching my previous video on this subject, because you are dumb if you decide to do that. But there are a lot of people out there that actually watch this and say, yeah, you're right, I'm sick of this agenda as well. And to you people,
I mean, as you can see, he only has 89 subscribers. No, there's not a lot of people watching this or agreeing with him, even in his own comment sections.
I say, you have common sense.
Yeah, so if you're a bigot like me, you have common sense. If you disagree, you're an idiot. Alright, so that was
Why don't you use the free time you've got on this toilet break from work to leave a comment down below to tell Giselle
So I'm going to replay this, because it kind of jumped up on me there. But this is the second one, the part 2. As you can see, it's quite a bit longer at 12 minutes. But the content is pretty much the same, and we'll just jump right into it.
Why don't you use the free time you've got on this toilet break from work to leave a comment down below to tell Giselle Shaw how awesome she is.
Oh yes, using the voice synthesizer there to try to make it sound devious to show support for a trans person. I mean, it's like he's not even trying to hide his transphobia in this one, and this is the supposedly more calmed down video, and as we'll see, it's not. It's just filled with more rhetoric and bullshit that conservatives love to spread.
Hello. I was not planning to make a part 2 of Wrestle Talk Messed Up, but due to all the comments I got, I thought, why not? I may as well, because one, I know I acted like a bit of a dick in the previous one.
No, you didn't act like a dick, you acted like a typical conservative bigot.
The previous video was made simply out of anger. I watched the Wrestle Talk video and made my video within the hour. So yes, I was very angry in the video, and I was a bit of an asshole in the video. But in this video, I'm a lot calmer, and I'm going to delve into the...
And as we'll see as the video goes on, like I said, that's just simply not true. His voice inflections really didn't change that much from the first to the second video here. So I don't know why he's trying to claim that he's calmer about it. He's not.
Reports of what happened at WrestleCon, and then give my opinion on it. But I still disagree with...
And once again, he didn't really give an opinion on the matter, besides, even if it happened, I don't care, I'm fine with it. It's more him just disagreeing that you should support or show any type of love to a trans person, like any type of support or love to the trans community. It's basically what he said in that first video, like, who are you trying to fool, Crossman? You didn't even give an opinion really on the matter. All you did was said, how dare they ask people to show support for the trans community and a trans person. Well, that was the first video.
With Luke Owen telling people to tell Giselle Shaw how awesome she is, because that is showing signs of bias, which is what they are not supposed to do.
Which I love when people try to say this, like, oh, like in his first video, he said, keep your politics out of it. Don't ever, like, if you're any type of entertainer or sports person, like news reporter, you're not allowed to show any bias unless it's the bias that I agree with, or otherwise it's just bias. And that's not how that works. Whether he wants to admit or not, biases are a thing that everyone has, and they're going to voice them rather consciously or subconsciously. It's just going to happen. You're never not going to have it. I mean, classic example: Fox News versus MSNBC or CNN. You know, one is clearly biased in a conservative in conservatism, and one is biased in liberalism. And to try to say that you can't voice those biases is completely ridiculous, because everyone does it. You're never going to find someone that isn't going to at some point let a little bit of their political bias slip into a video or a movie or show or whatever, because it's just never going to happen, especially not in today's day and age.
So let's get into the report from Fightful. Now,
so for those of you who are unaware exactly what Wrestle Talk does, they technically they have two channels as their main two channels. There's also a third one called Parts Unknown, but that's more of a more about fun videos instead of actually covering wrestling topics besides maybe top 10 videos. The Wrestle Talk podcast is, about reviewing the various wrestling shows going on in the week, Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite. Now they started doing Collision. And then the Wrestle Talk News isn't really a news channel in the sense that they don't break anything. They just cover what other people and sources have reported, and Frightful is one of the ones they use a lot. So you're going to hear him mention Frightful a lot in this video, because that was the main actual news source that the Wrestle Talk was covering in their video when they were talking about the Rick Steiner incident.
I looked at the Fightful website, I looked on their Twitter page, and I've looked on Sean Ross Sapp's Twitter page, and the only comments I can find are from...
and Sean Ross Sapp is the main person running Frightful, so that's why he's mentioning him specifically.
From Giselle Shaw herself. Yes, I said her, because I'm not actually transphobic, and I respect people. However,
so he messed up there. He meant to say I'm actually not transphobic, but all he said is I'm actually am transphobic, which just gives it away. Like, he probably in his script, if he wrote a script, said not, but I mean, the surface level lying is so thin that you can poke a hole through it with the tiniest of needles. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I don't feel like I should be forced into saying that. I just choose to say that. Now,
once again, trying to come off as transphobic while also coming off as extremely transphobic.
There are actually, unless someone can correct me, I cannot find any sources said about the incident. The only comments are from Giselle Shaw herself.
And he's actually lying there. In his own comment sections, people had corrected him and pointed out that there were names dropped that were the ones saying that this did happen. And in response to those comments, he pretty much called them NPCs, idiots, and then tried to say that it's political because of Biden, even though that's, once again, it's just categorically untrue. This whole transgender thing started becoming political back, what was it now, almost 10 years at this point, when Florida tried to pass the law where trans people couldn't use the bathrooms of the gender that they identified with. That was the first political dust up, and once again, that had nothing to do with Biden, because he wasn't in office at that point. Trump was, And so, like I said, this was about like, I think it was either right before or right after Trump got elected is when that law was trying to get passed in Florida. I'm a little bit hazy on my dates here, and I really don't care enough to look it up, to be honest. But either way, that's when it really started getting political. So I'm not sure why he's trying in his comments to saying it was because of Biden. That's just simply not true. It's been political for a while now, and that was perpetrated by solely Republicans.
Now, let's see what was apparently.
Which I'm sorry to keep pausing here, but it just interests me that why would a guy in the UK even care about American politics, like United States politics? It has nothing to do with him or his country. Like, maybe he should be focusing on the politics of his own country before voicing his opinions on the politics of another country. Like, I'm not over here talking about Boris Johnson and Brexit, alright? Like, it's just ridiculous.
Said by Rick Steiner. You're a man. You're a dude. You're a piece of trash. You are filth. Get the fuck away from here. Rick Steiner has not commented on the incident. And
So once again, like I said earlier, in that first video, he tried to completely take the comments out of context by just trying to view it as saying Rick Steiner said that she was just trash. Now he read the full comments, what was said, and it's clearly transphobic. It's just another bigot refusing to acknowledge a trans person's identity, the identity that they feel comfortable and that they're trying to be. And I mean, you can't say with a straight face that you're not transphobic, but you're perfectly fine with people making transphobic comments and even defending those people making their transphobic comment. You just can't. You can't have it both ways, which is what he's trying to do here.
Apparently, when people from Impact, who was with Shaw, tried to defuse the situation, apparently Rick Steiner called one of them the F word, which I'm not going to say on here because even though it will be in quotes, I will probably still get a strike, so I will say the F word because I do not want to get a strike from YouTube. Bron Breakker made comments recently saying, "My father's alleged comments do not reflect on me."
Once again, in Bron Breakker's statement, he did not use the word alleged comments. He just said my father's comments. And I don't know if he genuinely forgot that he left out the alleged part in the first video he did. I mean, maybe I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and he's using that he just forgot, and now he's using what he thinks it was said. But once again, the statement Bron Breakker said was public. You can go and read them yourself by Googling it. He doesn't say alleged comments, he just says comments.
And there is no heat on Bron Breakker. Now, none of these sources have been named, for one, right?
Which once again is untrue. They named them in his own comments section. And he just completely dismissed them. He's not looking for the actual facts. He's just trying to use his own biases to make a video to get views.
I know for the wrestling landscape of things that these sources would not want to be named because they could get into a lot of trouble from their bosses. However, this is nothing to do with the companies they work for, and I thought they'd be happy to be named, considering they are justice warriors, so to speak.
So that's it. Really interesting to me, and that was probably the thing where I was like, okay, yeah, no, I need to make a video on this guy, because the just the stupidity that he's showing here. Oh, I understand why they might not want to say their names, even though, once again, the names have been revealed. So he's just lying about that. He knows he's lying about that. So even though he's claiming he understands why they might not want to reveal their names, because it could reflect on the company, and there could be blowbacks for the company that they work for, which was Impact. He already named the company that these wrestlers were from. So he even knew what company they were from, even though there was no named sources. I mean, and then just say why are they afraid to show their name, even though this doesn't have to do with their companies? Well, if you work for a company and you make a public statement, that statement absolutely can be reviewed as being reflected back onto that company, and they usually discourage that. So once again, even though the names have been revealed of who made these comments, yes, initially they chose not to reveal their names because it could reflect back on their job, and their job could be angry. But once again, he's ignoring that context in just a really stupid way. Just absolutely stupid.
But no names have been given, and the only comments are from Giselle Shaw, which is very odd. Now I'm going to give some theories of.
So before you get into his theories, which is where you really just see that he is just a transphobic bigot here, he's trying to say because the only comments were made from Giselle, and that Braun Baker hasn't made any public statement on the matter, that somehow proves that Rick Steiner didn't make any public statements, or has refused to comment publicly on the incident. That means that somehow they didn't happen because he's, not defending himself or denying the allegations or confirming the allegations, which to me is more interesting than his little theories he's going to come up with here in a second. Because to me, if you're innocent and you know you're innocent, you would probably say something publicly that no, those comments were not made. But once again, Rick Steiner is not speaking, has refused to comment on the matter. So, it is what it is.
Mine on this situation, whether you agree or disagree with them, is up to you. I'm not going to call you stupid unless you decide to come and attack me.
Oh, I'm going to call you stupid though, because these little theories of yours are some of just the most blatantly transphobic and bigoted things I've ever heard in my life.
And make fun of my teeth, which I don't care about. I don't.
Which, don't make fun of someone's physical appearance. That's not nice.
I don't care if you want to make fun of my teeth. I honestly do not give a shit. I am content with how bad my teeth are. There is nothing I can do about them unless I pay thousands of pounds to get them fixed, which I do not have. Also, I do have a double chin, a little bit. It's because I eat well. Now, I have two theories as to what this is, and both do correlate with each other. So theory one, Giselle Shaw made all of this up for a publicity stunt. And again, this is a theory, this is an opinion. I'm not saying this is a fact, I'm saying this is a theory, because WrestleCon, where this happened to take place between the 31st...
Which, he said WrestleCon, which, I'm not gonna lie, the first time I watched the video, I thought he said WrestleCunt. But yeah, no, so if you thought you heard that, no, he did say WrestleCon.
1st of March and the 2nd of April. Now, what was on the 31st of March Transgender Day of Visibility. Very convenient that it had to happen around that time, and when she posted it, she made sure to add that hashtag. So that's very convenient. So my first theory is Giselle Shaw completely made the entire thing up, considering that I'm not finding any statements from anyone else apart from
except from his own son and the people who once again have been named, even in his own comment section. I think it was in this video. I think it was. Hold on. We'll scroll down here. It might have been in the first video. Oh, here it is. Gia, or is that pronounced Gaia? I'm not really sure how that's pronounced. I don't think it's Gaia. I think it's Gia Miller and Daniel Spencer, who have both confirmed what Shaw said. So the names were dropped. People do know who made those comments. That's backing up what Giselle Shaw said happened. But once again, he's trying to play it off like no one has, even though he just didn't even try to dig further than surface level. He just read the Frightful report, and that was pretty much it. And he admitted that in his first video, or early in this one, where that's pretty much all of the digging he did.
From Giselle Shaw. Secondly, Rick Steiner did say these things, but it is a bit odd that someone would shout these things in public, knowing full well of the consequences.
Have you ever been on the internet, bro? Like people are making these comments publicly every single day. Whether it's on the internet or just out and about, people do say these things publicly every single day. Like, who are you trying to fool with this bullshit? And that's what this is. It's bullshit.
That come when you do that sort of thing, especially in today's culture. Now, if Rick did...
Yeah, you'll have right-wingers praising you for shooting up bottles of beer, cans of beer with a trans person on them. Well, actually, no, because those never came out. So that was just regular Bud Light cans. So, like, what are you talking about? People are making these comments. They're doing these things very publicly every single day, and people are praising it every single day. So, like, yeah, there's going to be some blowback, and you're experiencing some yourself, aren't you, right now, Crossman? You're experiencing some blowback, but to try to say that these comments aren't being made publicly is just absolutely stupid, or just a straight up lie. I really don't know if he's just lying at this point, or just this dumb. I'm going to go with a combination of both, to be honest.
Say these things, I believe that Giselle Shaw prompted him to do so. She would have to have encouraged him somehow to say these things, and it all seems a bit up to me. So you can imagine Giselle going in there thinking, it's Transgender Day of Visibility, and I need to make a statement to spread transgender awareness. So she sees an old man like Rick Steiner and provokes him into saying his old-fashioned things, and boom, you've got a story.
Bigoted. Not old-fashioned, bigoted. And, you know, the fact that you think that either A, she's just making it up, or B, is the one who completely instigated the incident, just really, like I said, this is, you know, this was one of the major parts where I'm like, okay, yeah, I have to make a video about this because it's just so stupid.
You can get your attention on Twitter, you can get all these things and spread transgender awareness. So those are my two theories on the situation. Consider I'm not finding any actual evidence that this occurred. I'm not. There's no video evidence. There's no quotes from anyone else from what I can find, and I did some digging. I went on the Fightful website. I looked all over the place. Nothing was found.
Which, once again, yeah, that's all he did. So, I mean, he's just admitting it. Like, he's not. He's thinking that he's covering his bases here, but it's just showing how surface level he looked into this. I'm definitely using quotation marks there because he didn't look into it at all. He's just he read the Frightful report where there was initially no sources given, and that was the extent of it. Even though, once again, you know, at least two wrestlers have come out public, have come out, and we know who they were. It's just, it's unbelievable, to be honest. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not sure if he's just lying at this point to get views, or if he's just this dumb. I really can't tell yet. The only thing I can say for certain is that he's definitely transphobic and he's definitely a bigot.
Apart from Giselle Shaw's comments, which is odd, considering if you was assisting Giselle in this situation, you'd want to be named, wouldn't you? You'd want to be named so you can join in with that attention, join in with those virtue signalling comments. But no one was named. Even the person that was called the F word was not named. So it all seems a little bit odd to me. It all seems a little bit far-fetched, considering why would anyone shout these things in public in today's landscape? Why? Knowing full well what could happen to you. But there was a video going around which I found thanks to Kevin Scampoli. He shared it on his TWFS podcast, and it was a video of some young justice warrior harassing Rick Steiner, Lex Luger, and I believe Ron Simmons was also there, and Ron Simmons was the only one who was acknowledging the person who was harassing them with a camera, and Rick refused to comment. He looked very annoyed. The only person who was wrong in that video was the person that was harassing them, because he was acting like a complete dick when Rick and...
This will be the one thing I actually agree with Crossman on. Don't go around filming people and harassing them, even if you don't agree with what they said or did. If you want to make a YouTube video about it, sure, go right ahead. But don't actively harass someone like that, especially in public.
Lex Luger, who was in a wheelchair, by the way, and Ron Simmons were just going about their business.
I do find it funny that he feels the need to mention that Lex Luger is in a wheelchair. Like, that makes anything better or worse in this situation. Just a really odd comment to make, to be honest. Like, oh no, he's in a wheelchair, so he's completely immune to criticism, is kind of the feeling I get from just the way he said that. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just, it's like, What are you talking about, dude? Lex Luger being in the wheelchair has absolutely nothing to do with this.
So, all of this seems very far-fetched to me. Now, I'll reiterate something I said in my CM Punk video, because some of you refuse to watch it. I don't get why. Why would you refuse to watch it?
And I'll just say this now. Yeah, don't engage with this dude. Don't give him any more views. Just stay away from his channel. Don't engage with him. Don't write comments in his comment section. Like, just don't interact with his channel, because then that's just going to give him more views, and that's not why I'm making this video. I'm making it for the exact opposite reason. I want this dude to get off of YouTube with his bigoted views. So, do not engage with his channel. Do not watch his videos. Just don't give him any clicks. Fuck this dude. Like, yeah.
When I'm in that video, I'm sat there for 10 minutes giving an unbiased viewpoint, educated viewpoint on...
Which, once again, is just a complete lie. I did watch that video. It's just more basic conservative rhetoric. You've all heard it before, child grooming, blah, blah, blah. It's just more misinformation being floated around by conservatives about trans people. It's nothing new, and it is 100% bias. But remember that he said that the unbiased comment, that he's being unbiased. Just remember that comment here.
The trans agenda. But you refuse to go and watch it. I'm not giving you another click. So it seems like you only want to focus on one thing. Yeah, I know I was a dick in the previous video, but I have a right to be, considering when teachers are telling school children that they have to accept that another school child identifies as a cat or you will be punished. And if you don't believe me, look it up. It's called Rye College in England, and it actually happened. And I'm a dad, and I don't want my daughter growing up in a world like that. So yes, I'm going to be pissed off when all of these fake transphobia news things come out and pushes that agenda, which pushes more people.
So once again, he's trying to claim being unbiased while being so far biased in his rhetoric that it's unbelievable that you can even try to make that argument. Like, no, sir, you are being biased. You were biased in that video. You were biased in the first Wrestle Talk Messed Up video, and you're being biased on this video. Which, there's nothing wrong with being biased on your views. That's not the issue. The issue, sir, is that your biases is in transphobic, bigoted views.
People to spread transgender awareness. 10 years ago, transphobia was barely a thing. You didn't hear about it. Trans people that did drag, they just went to live their lives, whether you agree or disagree with it. It is what it is. But you didn't go out your way to attack them unless you are a transphobe, which is a very small amount of people. Now, you can...
It's not, though, and once again, we already established why it started to gain more traction, and that was because the Republican Party here in the United States decided to use trans people as the next scapegoat for their agenda, just like they did with the gay community before that. It's what they do. They find a scapegoat to distract their voters and create a moral panic, and it's not new. It's just now It's specifically trans people. They lost the fight against gay people, you know. And so this is just their next thing. This is just their next scapegoat. And once again, it happened around 10 years ago, or about, 6, 8 years ago now. So, like I said, this is nothing new. And to try to use the argument that, oh, well, people weren't being transphobic 10 years ago, except for a small majority. Well, yes, because at that point Republicans weren't using them as their scapegoat. Stop trying to take things out of context when we know what happened. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Take this video how you will. You can go in the comments and give me more shit if you like.
Once again, don't do that. Stay away from his channel. Do not give him any more clicks. Do not give him any more views. Even just to tell him that he's a piece of shit.
You can go in the comments and agree with me if you like. I don't care personally. I'm just trying to give you people a different viewpoint on this instead of what rest.
Once again, though, it's not a different viewpoint. Everything he said is the same shit that we've been hearing from conservatives and Republicans for about 10 years now.
Talk do and just parrot what's reported without giving an actual opinion apart from the biased let Giselle Shaw know how awesome she is comment. But I've gone through the various situations as to what could have happened.
Once again, he went through two completely biased, skewed theories as to what had happened, and they're just full of bigotry and transphobia. It's either she completely just lied and made it up, which we know is not true. It happened. She has two people named backing her up, and once again, Braun Breaker, Rick Steiner's son, has publicly commented on his father's comments. We know what happened, dude. Like, and so your other theory is that, oh, well, she provoked him into saying something bigoted. Like, no. Like, you cannot provoke someone into bigotry or racism. It doesn't happen that way. Like, it's... And if you can do that, then that person was already a bigot or transphobic or homophobic or whatever to begin with. Like, it's just so unbelievable.
In the incident, and what I believe could have happened in the incident, I personally do not believe that Rick Steiner went to do this unprovoked. I don't. And I can give a biased viewpoint because I'm not a news site.
And there it is. Throughout the entire thing, has trying to be claiming that he's unbiased about it. Well, at the very end, oh yeah, no, I'm biased about it. I get to be because I'm not a news channel. Well, sir, the contents of your videos begs to differ. You are trying to be a wrestling news channel. Like, that is all your other content. So, no, like, by your own, opinion on if a news source, a wrestling news source, can give a biased opinion on something, then no, sir, you do not get to make a biased opinion on, you don't get to give your biased opinion on something. Like, and this is the type of stupidity we're dealing with here, folks. This man is not, he's not right in the head.
I'm not someone who gives you news. I'm just someone who talks about wrestling, that tries to give people a different perspective on wrestling. Even though this video isn't really about wrestling, and this will be the last video I make on this subject.
I guarantee it won't be. There's going to be another thing that comes up that he'll make a completely biased video about, This is just another lie. Don't believe him for a second. As long as there's something that he feels like he can make some views off of, he's going to make a video about it.
And from now on, I will strictly talk about wrestling. Now, if you've made it to the end of this video, please like, subscribe. If you agree or disagree with me, let me know in the comments, but try and be respectful. I mean, your comments don't hurt me, but it's annoying to wake up to tons of comments about my teeth and my double chin and whatever else, and making false accusations that I'm an incel. From what I gather, an incel isn't in a relationship and has a family and a neckbeard. I don't get it. Like, if you want to try and debate me, at least try and debate rather than throwing insults at me. I don't get that, right? Because when I try and debate people, I actually try and be respectful, unless they are not respectful back to me, and then that's when I become a dick. And as you would have seen in the last video, I can be a dick when I want to be. Sometimes I can't help it. Sometimes I regret it, and then I look upon it and try and change that because I have self-awareness. Thanks for watching. And
so final closing thoughts. Once again, this dude is full of bullshit. Rather he actually believes it or not, I'm now 100% sure or convinced one way or the other. Because you can be a grifter and still be a dumb grifter, you know. And that's kind of what this feels like. It feels like a combination of the two, where he doesn't really believe everything he's saying, but he's just dumb enough to believe enough of what he's saying. Like, I genuinely, like, he knows that people, after his first video, corrected him that yes, the sources were named, we know who they were, so, and he's choosing to ignore that. And then, once again, just the hypocrisy and the stupidity is just not uncommon for conservatives. Is what it is with this issue. Like, there are always going to be a lot of misinformation that fools the gullible. I mean, like I said, in his own comment sections, whenever, you know, he said he's tried to be respectful. That's a complete lie. Even when people have, like I said, pointed things out to him, he's called them things like NPCs, which is just so, I mean, really using the insults that children these days use. Like, come on, man. Like, you're a grown-ass adult calling people NPCs. Like, that should tell you something about, you know. And like I said, like I said in the start of this video, this is kind of the difference between someone like him and someone like Map, where Map, or Miss Anthropopony, if you don't know who Map is, which once again, I suggest not looking up any of her content, or his content, I should say, my bad. You know, don't look up either one of their contents, honestly. But either way, the main difference is someone like Map is a clear clout chaser. They're jealous of someone else's content, or the fact that they feel that their content is better, but another YouTuber is experiencing way more success than they are. So they jump on the hate bandwagon and start making quote-unquote takedown videos or exposed videos to for no other reason than to gain views and to boost the popularity of their own channel. Because as we all know, oftentimes whenever something is popular, that thing is also going to have a lot of haters. And, you know, there is something to be gained by feeding into those people's perceptives. And that's what someone like Map does. While once again, someone like Crossman here, it's more, he's making this video because he didn't like a single a single comment that another channel made. You know, it's not like they went full on, you know, one way or the other. They just said, you know, show support for this person, and because of his own personal biases, which, I mean, and you can say I fall into this category too, by making this channel. You know, I'll own up to that. But it's not for the views, it's just to try to right a slight that they felt was made against them. And me, like, I don't like seeing people trying to punch up or down, especially when it is against a marginalized community like the trans community. And especially when you're going to do it in such a profoundly dumb way like Crossman here has. And, you know, so once again, like, I do believe him when he says he's not making this video for clout chasing. He was just offended by the fact that Wrestle Talk wanted to show support of any kind to a trans person, because, damn it, he has a kid and he doesn't want those groomers coming after his kids. Even though that's, of course, all conservative misinformation that's being spread on purpose and to idiots like him that will then go online and parrot those things without actually looking into any of it beyond the surface level. And, you know, we all know this person. We see them online every single day. There's millions of them. You know, I just love the fact he keeps trying to say he's trying to show a different perspective. He's not, though. We've seen this perspective. We know what it is. We know where you stand, Crossman. You're not fooling anyone. You're not saying anything new or original. I doubt you are even capable of having an original thought in your head at this point. You're probably just listening to right-wing news sources and just regurgitating what they're saying out into the world. And that's what this is. I mean, it's a classic example of it. So once again, my advice: just stay away from this channel. Don't give him any views. Don't give him the satisfaction of having his channel grow at all. I generally hope. I mean, he only has 89 subscribers anyways. It's not like anyone's watching his shit content to begin with. I mean, his two most popular videos are these Wrestle Talk videos because, once again, like I said, I discovered his videos when I went to search for Wrestle Talk. So, I mean, it's on there in the search options, you know, the options when you search for it. And that's the only reason why he's even getting any views. I mean, the rest of his videos get like 11 views at most. I mean, he's a no-name YouTuber, and that's how it should stay. So, you know, I'm not going to say I hope you like this video and like and subscribe or any of that. That's not what this is about. I'm not trying to grow a channel here. I am just trying to let people know to stay away from these type of grifters, you know. So, that's the video. You guys have a great day, and maybe I'll see you another time. I honestly don't know. Once again, I have no plans on doing any more videos. If I do, I'll probably try to do something different. I've been thinking about doing more like animation reviews, that type of stuff, as opposed to this type of takedown content. But yeah, like I said, there's just something about this guy that just made me scream, like made me think, no, I do have to make this video. So once again, you guys have a great day, and maybe I'll see you in the future.